See Zeke recapturing any of his 2016 magic?
No, Skip. It does seem like forever ago because it was forever ago. That was many, many games ago. That was about probably 1,000 less carries ago, and that arguably was Zeke's best game as a Cowboy. Skip, there's a lot of things that's changed since 2016. Two of those things aren't coming back, at least this year. Tyron Smith was the best left tackle in football. He was a first-team All-Pro. Travis Frederick was arguably the best center in football. He was a first-team All-Pro. Zach Martin, who's still on the team, was first-team All-Pro, but that was a lot of collisions ago, Skip. Zeke also was a first-team All-Pro. Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, not coming back this year. Zach Martin has been banged up a little bit. He's still legit. He's still a top 3 guard in all of football. But Zeke is not the best back in football anymore. And, Skip, they've kind of gone away from what they were then. Skip, you know, they got off the bus knowing, Zeke, you getting 20 touches today, bro.
Yep.
Zeke, now he's hoping. And because they don't fear the quarterback,
yep,
everybody talks about, we heard Pat Peterson when the great cornerback from the Cardinals say, no, we won't Andy Dalton, the ball in Andy Dalton's hand. We know what 21 can do. We're not sure about Andy Dalton. They're going to be even less sure about Cooper Rush or Garrett Gilbert, Skip. They're not going to let Zeke beat them. Teams are smart enough to know. Is Zeke, Skip, I don't believe Zeke is that guy, 2016 guy. Yep. But I still believe he's capable of going for 110, dominating the clock, and keeping the defense, although the Cowboys defense is playing better. But, Skip, it's not that. That's not coming back because that offensive line, is it the same? I don't believe Zeke is the same, and I don't believe the Cowboys' commitment to the run is the same. So when you factor all those things in, although it's nice for Zeke to reminisce, like, man, I went 80. And you was watching that, you like, man, I wish those days would come back. Happy days are not here again, Skip. I am sorry to tell you. So to answer Jenny's questions, no, I do not.
So you're not sorry to tell me because the truth is I've been trying to tell you this, unfortunately, for a year and a half since Zeke came back from Cabo San Lucas and got paid 5 years, $90 million, $15 million a year. I hate how right I have been because I have told you from about game 1 or 2 of 2019, Shannon, I'm sorry. Eye test is saying, don't see it. Where's that guy?
Skip, they say the wings hit differently in Mexico.
Maybe.
I don't know what the ranch and the blue cheese dressing.
I got it. I have told you again and again, I still love my man Zeke. I still have his picture on my bedside table. But I miss that Zeke. I don't see this that much. If I get it twice a game now, I'm like, wow.
If you get it once a game, because
I'm excited.
You didn't see it Sunday at all.
No, I didn't see it at all. And the problem is, this number 21 looks like more of a fullback than a halfback to me. This one has lost some of his
sadness,
some of his explosion, some of his burst that he used to have, obviously dating back to the glory days at The Ohio State.
If you got to let that.
I know. I let it go. It wasn't even his last year. It was his second to last year. When he didn't dominate the Big Ten, he dominated the nation.
He almost ran for 1,000 yards in 4 games.
He did. It was spectacular, all the way to a championship game against the Oregon Ducks. Yep. I was there at Jerry World, and he just ran wild on them, just as he had run, wild on St. Nick's defense in the semifinal.
And they hit Wisconsin,
in the Big Ten and Michigan.
Before that.
It was just, he ran them out of the building.
He did.
So now, I hark back to what I was always taught as I was coming up covering your game, pro football. It was almost a cliche that running back shelf life is 2.5 years. And I would say, well, it's longer than that.
Right.
You know, certainly for the great ones. You know, we saw Emmett just go on and on and on. He went all the way to Arizona and just kept piling up yards because he had such great quickness in a confined space, as Norv Turner used to tell me. And he just had the art of avoiding collisions.
He didn't run to contact like Zeke does.
Zeke runs to contact. He runs through contact. He runs through brick walls at the line of scrimmage. And to your point, obviously, the walls have gotten more bricks in them since the stud linemen have gone down. And this year has been mostly a disaster for the offensive line. So I certainly give you that. But it was so ironic that you and I had just started Undisputed, and we took the show on the road, I guess, for the first time, and we went to New York City for UFC at Madison Square Garden. So this was the week, because the current president just got elected on that Tuesday that we got there on Wednesday, right?
Correct.
And we were there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And on that Sunday was Dallas at Pittsburgh. And it was the suddenly hot young Cowboys featuring Dak and Zeke. And neither of us were quite sure what to make of them. I loved it. I was on fire. But I just couldn't figure out how they could go to Pittsburgh and win. So we picked it that Friday. There's no way I was picking Dallas to win that game. They were 7-1 at that point. I thought they're going to be 7-2. I think we both picked Pittsburgh to win that game. And then these things happened. The first one was the screen pass that went 83 yards. And just I just have to just burn this into my soul because I'm just afraid we're never going to see this again. But here we go. Just a little flip from Dak to Zeke. This is 83 yards now. There's some acceleration going on there. This is 4-4 Zeke because he outran 3 DBs and then just vaulted into the end zone. Did a little pirouette into the end zone. Here we go again. Okay, that guy feels like a thing of the past to me. And yet, remember, he's only 25 years old, so it's not like he turned 30 and he lost it, right? Okay, so then in the fourth quarter, it's still a nip-tuck game, back and forth with Big Ben, and Zeke scores twice in the fourth quarter. The first one was a 14-yard touchdown. And again, you look at the blocking. There's a gaping hole, and he just burst right through.
Look at Travis Fred. Look at Zach Martin.
Just blowing people up, okay? And then your favorite play comes on the following play, which nailed the game. This is nail in the coffin, and this is, you want to talk about gaping hole, and I can't remember who the right end was, but he played it completely wrong.
Yes, he's got to get across the tight end's face.
Yep. And he, as you said, it was. And as you said, Zeke hit his head on the goalpost. This happened. We're seeing it in slow motion, but in real time, it just happened like, boom. And game over, 35-30 Dallas. So now we've come full circle, 4 years. We're right in the middle of another election. And I'm looking for my man Zeke against the Steelers on Sunday at Jerry World just to kind of save my day. Save a little bit of pride for my franchise. And yet I keep telling you these numbers. I saw 16, 17, and 18, he led the league in yards per game. It went from 109 to 98 to 96. A slight decline, but still leading the league. And then last year, after he got his money, he fell all the way off to a easily career low, 85 yards a game. This year, he's falling way down. It's horrendous what's happening because he's all the way down to 3.9 yards per attempt, which is, he's fallen under 4 yards, which ranks 35th among running backs, which is terrible. Worst last year was my least favorite stat that I kept telling you. On first down carries, he ranked second in attempts all through 2019. So they were trying to establish him. And yet, he ranked 18th in yards per carry on first down. We'll do the math on that. That won't work because you're not going enough. You're not establishing the run enough that they will want to stick with it. Well, they tried to stick with it, but it didn't work. It didn't set you up to win games. And what happened? My team goes, what was it, 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
No, your team went 8-8 last year. You wish they went 9-7.
I was thinking of it the last. They beat Washington the last game just to get to 8-8. Okay, so this year he's all the way down to 65 yards a game, and obviously you say, yeah, but you kept falling so far behind. Well, in part that was because he couldn't make a difference early enough in the game because he's still 5th in first down carries in the league, which is still pretty high. And he's going nowhere slowly because he's clear down at ranking 35th.
Well, Skip, this year, You got Andy Dalton.
Yep.
You got DiNucci, and you got Cooper Rush, or whoever.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What do you think I think you're going to do on first down? You think I think you're going to let those guys throw the ball on first down, or I think you're going to turn around and hand it to Zeke on first down?
Yep.
Which one you think I'm thinking if I'm a defensive coordinator?
Yep.
You not let those guys throw the ball on first down, Skip.
Would you believe that Ezekiel Elliott still has the 4th most carries in the whole league this year?
Yeah, I can believe it.
Okay, the 4th most. Okay, well, is that trying to make 21 the bell cow?
What we saw, Skip, even when they were behind against the Falcons, they were behind against Seattle, they were still giving him his carries.
Yep.
They just didn't want the defense to just pin their ears back and just blatantly disregard the run. So they were still trying to give it to him. But, Skip, since Dak has been out, that number, you said he's averaging 65 yards, it's gone down to 52 yards per game since Dak's absence. It's gone down from 3.9 to 3.7 per carry.
That is
so
true.
It's going even worse. And it's going to get even worse unless your quarterback can play, Skip. You got to get some linemen that can play. All of a sudden, you're going to have to get you about another 1 or 2 Zach Martins.
Yep.
Because if you don't, Skip, Zach Martin is the only guy you got. And when you get positive yards, you're running it to his side.
Yep.
You go to the left, ain't nothing happening over there. Cam Fleming and your guy Connor Williams, ain't nothing popping on that side. So don't even go over there. You better stay behind Zach Martin and whoever the right tackle is.
And once again, as I tell you again and again, you know the Shanahans as well as anybody. Tonight on display will be Kyle Shanahan down to his 4th string running back. Watch how creative their run game gets. It's a lot of bells and whistles. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, but that's all for the good because he gets people loose.
Right.
And Dallas has never had any creativity to it. It's just give it to Zeke and let him try to bang through a hole.
Well, Skip, when you have 3 first, I mean, think about it now. You only have 5 offensive linemen. When you get 3 of them to make first team All-Pro, they're basically saying you have 3 of the top 3 linemen that rank, how many teams? 32 teams. So over 155 offensive linemen. You got 3 of the best. Of 155. So, Skip, I ain't got to get creative. I just turn around and hand you the ball because I got the 3 best offensive linemen in football.
Okay. So here are the most telling numbers to me. 20-plus yard runs. When he was a rookie, he had 14 of them. It's pretty great. Good. Then it fell to 11 the second year. Then we fell all the way to 2019. Well, I'm not counting 2017 because Mary got suspended. Right. So it's actually 11 in 2018, and then it fell to 4 last year in 2019. Only 4 20-plus yard runs.
You have not 1?
1. You got 1. So he'd be projected if you do 8 more games, he'd have 2. Okay, what does that tell you? It's not that guy anymore. And Shannon, I had to sit yesterday watching him do his weekly interview, and what was he talking about? What was his new mantra? I got to keep chopping wood. And I'm thinking, this is my guy. This is this guy. Chopping wood? From eat, Zeke, eat to I got to keep chopping wood. Well, that's just straight blue collar. That's not cowboy blue. You know that. Come on, what are you talking about?
And you see, and the thing is, you don't look at Zeke as that kind of a guy. You want Zeke to be explosive. See, the thing is,
game breaker.
Right. Zeke, but Skip, if you really think about it, Zeke has never had the runs like Derrick Henry. We look at Derrick Henry, and it seems like every time I turn around, he's going 90.
Loose. Yeah, because he weighs, you think 250 or 60. 260.
Yeah.
And he can fly.
Yes.
And he breaks through the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden, he has another gear.
Right.
Where he's outrunning, he'll outrun all the linebackers for sure.
Yes.
And he will make it hard on the DBs because they'll come up to challenge and they're going to get this in the face, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I should have gone back and counted how many 20-plus yard runs he has last year and this year because it would be a ton.
He got because Skip. I mean, you think about it. He's already got a. I mean, you think about how many long runs that he has. I think he has like 10 50-plus yard runs, and he's only been in the league 4 years.
Yep.
So that's saying 50-yard touchdown runs on runs and pass catching. But when I look at Zeke, Skip, I never thought Zeke was going to be in NFL what he was in college for the simple fact, Skip. I just thought that Ohio State was so good, Skip. Those teams, when you look at those teams with those Bosas and all those defensive players and all those offensive skill guys they got, if he goes somewhere, and Dallas had an offensive line that was perfect for him. But what happened is, Skip, those guys started getting old, because they've been banging for a while. Because remember, they had DeMarco Murray. He led the league in rushing. So they've been banging for a while. And at some point in time, you see Tyron Smith starting to break down, Skip. It's his back, his knees, his shoulders. Zach Martin knees. Travis Frederick had the illness. And he's like, you know what?
And by the way, DeMarco Murray, after that 2014, he was never the same.
He's never the same.
He's now an assistant coach standing on the sideline for my Oklahoma Sooners, where he went to school, obviously. But he was quickly done. Yeah, remember he went to Philly.
He went to Philly, stole from them. I mean, and he went somewhere else after that, Skip, and I forget. But he was never. You're right. He was never the same. I just think the thing is, Skip, is that now because you don't have a solid quarter. I mean, these guys, Skip. Let's be real. They're not going to respect the passing game. They're going to gobble up Zeke, and they're going to force your quarterbacks to beat them throwing the football. Yes, you have quality receivers, C.D. Lamb and Gallup and Amari Cooper. Yep. But do I believe one of those two guys that they're going to start can throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and beat me? No. And the Steelers are going to – and Mike Tomlin made it abundantly clear. We're going to stop Zeke. We're putting our attention on Zeke, and we'll tackle Zeke on the way to the quarterback.
Okay, so the story – I can sum up Zeke's story of the year was at Philly in the third quarter. Trevon Diggs made another play. Yep. He tracks down a Wentz throw that was a little short and caught it as he entered the end zone. Right. Then he ran it back 33 yards to the 31, and here we came. And guess what happened? Feed the beast. And we go Zeke, 9 yards, 6 yards, and 8 yards. And right on schedule, I don't know if he was gassed or if they just wanted to do a quick change of pace, but in comes my man Tony Pollard. And he's okay. He goes 7, then 2, but then 9. Right. And all of a sudden, they have set up shop at Eagles to this point. And if they cash this one, 16-7, I got a shot.
Feeling good.
Even with DiNucci, I got a shot. Right. If Zeke can just take over the rest of the game with a little help from T. Pollard, okay, then I'm fine. And what happens right on schedule? They bring Zeke back in. He goes for only 2 yards on first down. So now it's 2nd and 8 from the 26-yard line. And they panic and resort to a trick play with Cedric Wilson on a end around trying to throw a pass. Right. Except before he can cut loose, Fletcher Cox just rocks him. Right. And it's -10, and that was the end of the game for the Dallas Cowboys. What does that tell you about how much they don't trust Ezekiel Elliott now?
That too, but Skip, sometimes just because you got a sheet full of plays, that don't mean you got to call them all, Skip. It was like, we got to get it. We practiced it, so we got to get it in this game. That wasn't the time.
Obviously, the theme of the night for Kellen Moore, we can't beat them, so let's trick them. Right. So they were just throwing the whole show at them.
I'm not trying to trick you now because I got something going, Skip. I'm just running the ball downhill. So I'm going to stick with that because I'm in field goal range, Skip.
Hey, but if you had 2016 Zeke, what would be your mantra at that point? Just feed him.
Yeah, but Skip, but you also want 2016 Cowboys offensive line too. Skip, look at those guys. You talking about Cam Irvin? Skip, come on. You saw what Aaron Donald did to him. Aaron Donald went to the Hall of Fame that Monday night against Cam Irvin.
Yep.
Is that his name, Cam Irvin? Cam Fleming.
Cam Irving. They had Cam Fleming last year as a backup.
Yeah, but come on, Skip. And you're right tackle. You playing Skip. You're starting 2 undrafted guys.
Okay, just watch what San Francisco does tonight. They're decimated in their offensive line. Trent Williams went on the COVID list yesterday. Just watch what they do. Watch what they do with a bunch of backups.
They're gonna have to run the ball, Skip, because they got no receivers because they got to put a bunch of receivers on.
They're all gone, right? Yeah. So just watch what Kyle Shanahan can do, doing a whole lot with a little that this team should be doing more of.
Well, that's what Kyle Shanahan – but see, Kyle Shanahan has really never had an Aaron Rodgers or a Brett Favre. So he had to get creative in order to move the football. Yep. Remember, he built an offense, especially for RG3. RG3 was Rookie of the Year, tore his knee up. He wasn't the same when he came back. He went to Atlanta and started the West Coast offense. Matt Ryan had his best year.
MVP.
Look at what he did for Jimmy G, Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard. When you don't have the quarterback talent, Skip, you got to get creative. Yep. But when you got those quarterbacks, make it on out there. And people, you convince people, man, look here, man, I'm calling these things up. No, you got Aaron Rodgers. Just like Josh McDaniels had people fooled. Bill O'Brien had people fooled. Yep. A lot of people had people fooled thinking they were calling great plays. No, that's Brett Favre, that's Aaron Rodgers, that's Tom Brady, look at Adam Gase. Adam Gase got 2 jobs, Skip, because he had people fooled thinking he called a great play. No, that's Peyton Manning. You ain't calling nothing.
And Peyton always endorsed him publicly.
Yes!
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, because he stayed out of Peyton's way.
Yep, he did.
That's what he did.
Okay, so bottom line to this discussion. Am I going to condemn Jerry Jones for giving Zeke 5 years, $90 million? No, I'm not, or I'd be the all-time hypocrite because I was over here just pounding the desk. Pay the man. You have to pay. He had earned his way to that point, and the market said that's not outrageous. $15 million a year. Again, we're talking about Dak making $42 million a year. Okay, but is Jerry getting the bang for his buck that he hoped to? He is not.
No. The market has depreciated.
I would say.
It didn't appreciate it. But Skip, this is a bad matchup for you. You're playing against one of the better run defenses in football. With the banged up, with the offensive line not very good, and Zeke not looking like the Zeke that you remember. So this is not a good matchup for you. Plus, you got a backup to the backup player. No, the backup is out on the COVID list. The backup that you had to him played so bad, it's like, nah, we good. We've seen enough.
So we're fourth string?
Yes.
Well, in a little while on the show, I'm going to make the case that my fourth-string quarterback is going to play much better than you think.
Okay. Make that case.
Yeah.
Is that your projection?
Yep.
I think I want to hold off on those. I'm gonna wait until Sunday to see.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.